Let's try that again. Well, that's a problem. The UST depegging. Is UST over? Is Luna over? Well, as always, time will tell. We'll see what happens. So what's going on with UST? Is it over? Is it dead? Is Luna dead? Well, let me go ahead and show you guys a couple of charts so you guys can get filled in and see what's going on. As you guys can see here, the UST price is sitting around 93 cents, whereas the normal price is supposed to be around $1. It is depegged by about 7% right now. Time will tell. We'll see what will happen if it's able to come back and bring it back to peg. But what was really interesting leading up into this is there was a lot of FUD around UST. I almost feel this was orchestrated. And what was really interesting, what started this and caused this, was a withdrawal on the anchor pool. And there was also a withdrawal from the curve pools as well, but it was about $250 million in total, maybe a little bit more. And this was sold. And when this was sold, you got to understand what happens when you press a red button on something. It causes the price to go down, stablecoin or not. So this caused the Luna price to go down a bit. Now, when you lose peg on something, this also causes confidence to be lost in the rest of the holders. So they also choose or look to sell as well. So you have this cascading event where everyone is looking to sell, and everyone pressing the red button will cause the price of the token to go down. But leading up to this, like I mentioned, there was a $250 million sell. Now, on top of that sell, there was also a FUD storm on Twitter. There's a lot of people saying Luna's going to zero, Luna's going to die, UST's going to die, UST is going to tank the market if it sells Bitcoin, just all kinds of garbage around FUDding Luna. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to survive. I'm not going to say it's going to die. I'm trying to lay out to you guys all the things that happen. You guys know my position on Luna. But on top of the sells, the FUD storm. Now, who actually orchestrated this? I mean, we can only speculate. No one knows exactly except for the person who actually did it. And I'm not here to say anyone did it. I'm just trying to lay out all the cards on the table so you guys can see what's going on. It's never a, oh, Johnny hit me, and then it's like, what did you do? Johnny just hit me for no, there's always something that pokes the bear. So did Do Kwon do something? Did a lunatic do something? And all of that is on the table for anyone to decide and choose. So me personally, like what I think actually happened was things like this. If we go here, this is not the same as the UST and Luna community used to be. Seeing something like this. No, I prescribed 24 hours of pegging over the next 7 days. So is the UST depeg in the room with us now? I mean, just things like this. It's a prideful tweet. Now, let me show you guys another one. This is just from another Luna holder. UST did depeg, and it was much worse than UST2. But unfortunately, people love to hate on UST. We'll see how it plays out. And then right below it, he says, you guys are, okay. The first tweet is good. We'll see how it plays out. But then adding something like this, it's like, come on now. Do you really want to be portrayed like that? Or anyone sees anyone in the Luna community. Now, I'm not picking names at Joey. I mean, I'm just showing you guys in general. Like, having a PFP like this, you guys can read that. It's like, what the snap? Like, come on now. Just, I mean, we get your $1 peg, but you have to be prideful about it and just flashing in everyone's face and just... That's how the community is portrayed. So if you guys are a part of the Luna community, I mean, I know you guys are bullish. I know people love the laser eyes. Remember last time someone did laser eyes on Bitcoin? That was around 69K. What happened to Bitcoin after that? Interesting. Now, Luna, we do the peg thing. What happened? Interesting. Okay, good to know. So guys, going forward, I just think the biggest thing that happened is when you're prideful, other people look into that and are like, oh man, I don't like this guy. This is bad. So then you create like an army that tries to beat you. Now, I'm not saying Luna is over, UST is over, but what I'm trying to say is I think this could have been one of the issues that may have caused this, because then you create enemies with something like this in general. But let's go and see what we can learn from this. The biggest thing to learn is not everything is up only. Second is just because they label it a stablecoin doesn't mean it stays a stablecoin. Make sure you guys look into the mechanics to understand what helps hold its peg, and if it's something that you believe will help hold its peg, then that is something you can consider a stablecoin. Just because you found a stablecoin that you think is decentralized and will hold its peg, that doesn't mean you shouldn't diversify. there's nothing wrong with having a bunch of different stable coins. That way, if one goes to zero, you have different ones to have. Another thing important to remember is, yes, there were high returns, but remember, with high reward, there's high risk. I want to go ahead and leave you guys with this wisdom one-liner in Luke chapter 14, verses 11. For all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. This is definitely some good food for thought. Now, in summary, what can I say to this? Well, we are in a PvP mode. Make sure you guys stay safe. Be careful. If you're over leveraged, remember, there is always a chance of getting that liquidation very easily, especially when everything's being tested and constricted. What does this mean for Luna? Well, if Luna does survive this, this just makes it extremely strong, like much stronger than before, if it was able to survive this substantial depeg. Now, there is a lot of money being thrown at it in order to bring it back up to peg. They're also selling Bitcoin reserves in order to do this. There's major funds behind this like Delphi Digital and Jump Crypto that are trying to bring it back up to peg. So there are a lot of bullets being shot at this in order to help and lighten the blow. So time will tell. We'll see what happens. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys are staying safe. Stay safe in the bloodbath. It may look like this short term, but in long term, hopefully it'll look like this. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you in the next one.